right? So for simplicity, let's reduce our constructor, which only takes this context. Okay, and as you can see here, this super class, we can just give the name of our database. So our database name is this variable, pass it here. Third is factory, we are going to pass null here, and the version, for example, version is equal to 1. Now whenever this constructor is called, your database will be created. Okay, now in order to create the table inside your database, we are going to create a table whenever this onCreate method of this class is called. Okay, so you can see SQLite database class is the argument inside onCreate, right? So we can just take this db, which is a variable of SQLite database, dot execute SQLite or exec SQLite or SQ. So take this instance db and call a method called dot exec SQL, and what it does is it executes whatever query you pass inside this method as an argument. So it takes the string variable or a string query. So here you can prepare your create table query, and then whenever it's called, it's going to execute this query and it's going to create this table. Okay, so let's write our query. For example, create the table name, so create table, and the table name in our case is this one. So you can use this concatenation operator to concatenate this, and then inside your brackets your column names comes, right? So first column name is id, or you can just take these names, column 1, column 2, column 3 and column 4 here. So inside double quotes and plus plus you can write column 1, and then let's write our query first, and let's forget about these variables. So let's understand first how this query is written, and then we can insert these variables here. Okay, so just write create table and your table name, and then in the brackets comes the id, which is the first column name, and then comes the attributes of this column. So it will be integer, and it's going to be my primary key. Primary key means the unique key which you will be able to identify the tail rows. Okay, and then it's going to auto increment. Auto increment means it's going to increment automatically even if you don't provide any data for it. Okay, the second column name is name itself, and the attribute or the data type for this is text, for example. The third column will be surname, and the data type is text for it also. And the fourth column is the marks column. So marks, and let's create it as integer. So we have created a table using this query. So this query is create table and your table name is student table, and in the brackets we have provided 4 columns to it. ID, which is a primary key and it's going to auto increment, name, which is a text, surname, which is a text, and marks, which is integer data type. Okay, now one more thing which we can do is in the upgrade method we can once again call this exec SQL. So this is the object we can use dot exec SQL, and in here we can just drop our table if it exists in case of upgradation. So drop table if exist, and the table name is this one. So you can just copy and paste like this. Okay, and once again we are going to create this table. So you can now directly call on create here, on create, and pass this db instance. Now once this is done, what we are going to do is, this is just for checking, we are going to write a single line of code so that our database is created and the table is created also. So just go to the constructor once again in here and just create an instance of SQLite database, which is the same as this, and we will name it as db is equal to this dot get writable database. Okay, and what it's going to do is it's going to create your database and table. And in next video we are going to remove this line, because we are going to write our code to insert the data into the database. So this is just for checking. Now database helper code is done, I think. Just one more little change which I would like to do is this key spelling is wrong. It should be KEY instead of KAY. And now what we are going to do is we are going to take this database helper class and create an instance of this database helper class in our main activity.java class. So copy this class name, go to your main activity.java file and create an instance. So write the name of your class and the instance name, for example my db. And now in our onCreate method of main activity.java file, you can just create a new instance. So my db new and then new database helper. Okay, and this takes one argument, which is the context. So you can just write this and everything will be fine. Now once everything is done, what it's going to do is it's going to call the constructor of this database helper class. And what we are doing in the constructor we are creating the database, right, and the table. Okay, so once this constructor is called, this code is called, and it's going to create the database and the table for you. Okay, so let's run our program. Now our app is running, so you can see this activity, which is blank activity, and it's not going to do anything right now. But what it has done is, once this activity is invoked, it's going to call your onCreate method in your main activity, and in turn it's going to call this constructor, and this constructor is going to create your database and your table inside your database. Now to check whether your database is created or not, how you can check and where is the location of this database. So let's see where can we find this database. So go to your Android Studio, and in here go to this tab called Tool, and then go to Android and click Android device monitor. Okay, so click Android device monitor, and once your Android device monitor is open, you will be able to find your project name in here. So my project name or my app name is SQLite app, and I can find my app here. You can see SQLite app. Okay, once you select this, go to the right hand side, and in here choose File Explorer from here. Okay, and in this File Explorer, go to the category called data and open it, and once again search for the category called data. So data, go to data, and inside data there will be a folder once again called data. So go inside that folder, open this folder, and now you can find your app name here also. So my app name is SQLite app, I can see here, and I will go open this folder here, and I can see a folder called database, and inside this database I can see my database name, which is student.db. So now I know that my database is created. Now if you are more curious about seeing inside this database, and you want to see if the table is really created or not, or once we are going to insert some data, you want to see the data if it's there or not, I will show you a simple trick which will help you. You can export this database to your local PC. Okay, so right now it's in your Android device, so you can export this database on your PC, and then you can query this database, or you can see inside this database what's inside this database. Okay, so this is just for checking the content of your database by transferring this database to your local PC and see what's inside it. So just select your database, in my case student.db, and you will be able to see this small button here which says pull a file from a device. So click this, and it's going to open a file explorer, and then you can select your chosen location and save it on your chosen location. For example, I'm going to save it on the desktop, and it's going to save it there. And then what you can do is you can if you have SQLite installed on your Windows, you can just open your terminal, and you can see inside this database. One more helpful tool I'm going to show you in order to see inside this database, and this tool is called SQLite Manager, which is a Firefox plugin. So if you have a Firefox browser, it's going to help you a lot. What you can do is you can open your Firefox browser and go to the settings here and go to add-ons and search for an add-on called SQLite, and it's going to search for this SQLite Manager 0.8.3. You just need to install it. Just install it and then restart your browser. And once your browser is restarted, you can go to settings once again, and then go to customize here, and in here you will be able to see this tool SQLite Manager. You can drag and drop this in to your tools here, and then exit customize, and now you will be able to open this from here. So just open SQLite Manager, click OK, and now you can browse your database. So my database is on the desktop, and make sure you select all files from here. Okay, so you will be able to see this .db file. Okay, so select all files from here and select your database and open, and now you can see this database, and there is a table called student table which we have created, and this table is containing 4 columns: ID, name, surname, and marks scored by the student. Okay, and you can browse the type integer, text integer, which we have provided, and our ID is a primary key, you can see. So the database content you can see using this SQLite Manager. Okay, so this is a simple little trick which you can use. So that's it for this video, and in the next video I'm going to show you how you can insert data into your SQLite database using Android. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and bye.